Welcome to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. Do you have a PlayStation 5 yet? Do you have an Xbox Series X yet? If not, just wait, because according to TCL, the next gen bump, or the mid-gen bump, I should say, is going to slated to come out in 2023. Whether we believe this or not, we will find out from each of us. But according to TCL, which is a big electronics manufacturer, they're expecting, and they are. I don't know how to understand this. It's kind of like they are talking about it in a conference. So is this known information to them, or is this something they're leaking? But they're basically saying that the PS5 Pro and the Xbox Series X consoles are expected. The next series, the mid-gen, is expected to arrive in 2023, according to a consumer electronics company, TCL. We've heard this before. I think we heard a little bit of this last year. I honestly don't know. In my opinion, I don't fully believe this, but we'll kind of figure out what everybody else believes before we dive into what I think. Do you guys believe this TCL Consumer Electronics report that we're going to see the mid-gen bump consoles next year? Nick, what do you think, man? Do you think we're going to see a PS5 Pro and an Xbox Series XXX or whatever they're going with? Because I don't know what they're going to do with their mid-gen bump name.
It's going to be double X. Triple X is the third alliteration.
The double X will be the discless, and then the double XL will be the one with the disc.
And the triple X won't have pants.
No, the triple X will be the Vin Diesel edition.
It'll come without covers, so you can see the electronics.
Yeah. It comes without the sleeves, the cover. No, I don't think so. Do I think Xbox and Microsoft and Sony are working on some sort of mid-gen bump? Probably. That went over for them pretty well. So I wouldn't see why they wouldn't do it again. Are they going to do it this soon though? 2023? I mean, they're having a hard time putting games out, right? Let alone trying to launch another console. They're still having trouble with the consoles they have out now, right? I mean, you can go buy an Xbox Series S. I mean, you can find those in stores everywhere. But a PS5 and an Xbox Series X are still hard to find in stores. Like, you go to Walmart, you're bound to see an S sitting there. I went to Walmart like a week ago, and there was tons of S's, but there were no X's, and there were no PS5s. So, yeah, I mean, people are still having a hard time getting a hold of these systems. So putting in a mid-gen bump next year, I just don't see that happening. Now, like I said, whether or not they're working on one, I bet they're working on one. I can see them putting out one eventually. But 2023 seems a little bit too early. And according to them, it's supposed to be native 8K support and 120 hertz capabilities, as well as 2160 resolution and an enhanced GPU. So 8K support, I mean, we could barely get 4K support, right? So 8K, I don't know about that. I would say that, and who knows what they mean by native 8K support. That's probably like watching a DVD or something like that, not actually, which I think the X and PS5 can already do that.
They do.
So I don't see, I mean, we can barely get, like I said, barely get 4K support. We're still having to switch between performance and graphical fidelity nowadays. And most games, not every game hits that native 4K even today, depending on the graphical fidelity of the game. So even with these higher end machines. So yeah, I just don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it at all. What do you think, Shane?
Yeah, TCL totally called liars because they're full of crap. See, this will be the second year. Is that correct? Yeah, this year will be the second year anniversary for the consoles this coming November. It's not third, I'm pretty positive. But anywho, 2 years, I would put them 3 years out.
Third year.
Is it three?
It's the 3.
In 2023, it'll be 3 years because we released in November of 2020. So this year, November will be the 2-year anniversary.
2 year. Yeah. So this November will be 2 year. Next year will be 3. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So
man.
And typical should be a 7 to 10 year console cycle, depending on how good or bad the consoles do. Yeah, and that's air quoting. It depends on how greed of it, I guess. I can't see it. I think year 4 you'll have a chance of seeing it, but not year 2.5, year 3. I think it's with all the problems they have right now, just material, and development, game development obviously has really hit this last few years. No, I think somebody was just padding their speech they were giving, giving somebody an ooh and ah moment. I don't see it at all. And more to the fact that I would not get one, which is for me is hard to say because I got the Series S, or excuse me, not the Series S, the 1S, and then I bought the 1X. And I got all of those, and I'll do the same thing with the next mid-gen, but not next year. That's BS. That's way too early. Don't tell my wife, by the way, I said that. I just can't fathom it. That's just way too early. I mean, if mid-gen cycle would be an 8-year, at the 4th year, I could see it. But even if these consoles were at 5 years, I don't see 2.5. I don't. I think it's too damn early. Because when did the 1X come out?
So I
the
looked
1X
up the PlayStation.
was November 7th, 2017.
So I looked at the PlayStation 4. It came out in 2013, and the PlayStation 4 Pro came out 2016. So it came out 3 years later.
Yep.
Maybe then. I didn't think it was that soon. Did the PS4 Pro come out before the 1X? I can't remember.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there was a 4-year distance gap between the Xbox One and the Xbox One X. So Microsoft did 4 years and Sony only did 3. So we had the PS3 Pro before we had this Xbox Series, the Xbox One X.
Yeah. But no, I cannot see it. It don't feel right. Now, granted, maybe in a year's time, I'll feel completely different. Because right now I'm loving my Series X. I'm loving my PS5. I feel no reason to upgrade, especially right now when we can't get the games we've been waiting on, that were shown off a year or 2, 3 years ago. I mean, hell, Metroid 4 has been released. Trailer was released, 7 years ago? And we still ain't seen squat on it. So I don't.
Why are you bringing a Nintendo game into this?
Because it's just a development cycle of games. I mean, God of War Ragnarok.
You can't bring Nintendo into Microsoft and Sony's pool because Nintendo holds onto a console for like 10 years. Nintendo holds onto a console generation for like 10 years.
But yeah, I mean, you're right though. I don't see it. I would not do it at this point in my gaming cycle. I don't see it, and I would not want it. But I might change my mind. A year from now, I could be like, man, I really wish I could play 8K on a TV that does 4. But I don't get it. And I don't get the push for 8, really, because there's not that many 8K TVs out there. And the 4K market really isn't as high as just regular 1020s. I don't think it's as high out there. But I don't keep up with that trend as much either. So you can Google that one, Pat, let me know. But I don't think 4K TVs are saturated as the last gen still.
You don't buy a 1080p TV anymore. They don't make them as 1080p only unless you're buying like a $50 TV. All the TVs that you're buying are smart TVs are 4K. They're 4K.
I don't know. Well, they're not great 4K. But anyways, I don't see it. Wouldn't want it. And, shit. TVs are high enough now. I don't want to double Ks and have to double price. I mean, hell, Pat, you're still trying to get a 4K.
No, I have a 4K.
Well, no,
TV.
I'm sorry. You're trying to get a 4K 120.
Yes, I have a 4K 60 hertz. Yes, I have a 60 hertz.
Yeah. Which I didn't think would make a difference, but man, damn, I was wrong. So, what about you? I mean, what do you think?
Well, that's why you can't see the difference in 8K yet, because you haven't seen it yet.
That's true. That's true.
When you see it, you may just fall in love and be like, I can't look at 4K again. It makes my eyes hurt.
Oh, 4K, you let me down.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in kind of an agreement with you guys on the 8K thing. It's like we don't even have 8K TVs, and we're all very avid gamers. Although we're not rich avid gamers, I will say we're not blowing thousands of dollars a month on gaming and TVs and stuff, you know. But yeah, I would see it if we didn't have shortages at a mid-gen bump. I would see that, honestly. If it still wasn't hard to get a PS5 and an Xbox Series X, I would say, yeah, it's about the time. Microsoft and Sony on last generation Xbox put out a 4-year mid-gen bump, and Sony put out a 3-year. But what happened before that? You guys are kind of forgetting what Sony and Microsoft did before that with the 360 and the PS3 eras. How many damn versions of the PS3 are out there? You know, there's the Slim, there's the Piano, there's this or that version and this version. They were all a little different, spec'd a little different, looked a little different. Xbox did the 360, the 360 Elite, and all, you know, and stuff like that. So it's not beyond them, but I honestly feel that with the pandemic affecting, you know, supply chains and shortages everywhere, it almost doesn't feel right. Like I mean, hell, we didn't get our PlayStations until, was it a year later? I mean, have we had our PlayStations for a year now? You know, I mean, I don't quite know if it's been a year that we've had them yet, but it took us a while to get a PlayStation 5. And now you're going to tell me to get a PS5 Pro, which I'm probably not going to go for. I will say, though, I don't play my PlayStation as much as my Xbox, but I am probably more likely to get an Xbox mid-gen bump. But I don't even have a TV that can do the 120 hertz yet that the Xbox Series X can do. And that's what I'm trying to save my money up for, is a decent TV that'll do the 120 hertz panel at 4K. So for me, I'm probably in the same boat as Shane. Not this year, not next year, maybe, but probably not. But if they can't keep Series X and PS5s on the shelf now, how the hell are they going to supposedly be able to be creating a PS5 Pro and a PS5 and keep those on the shelf with an Xbox Series X and Xbox Series X, Triple X, whatever they're going to come out with next name? We're going to go back to the Xbox Series X1, you know, or some stupid crap like that, knowing Microsoft and their naming schema.
Oh my God. At least we do have that. We can all play the guessing game. What dumbass naming are they going to do with the next gen?
That's the only thing with the Xbox. They need to fix that naming scheme. They got to get some consistency in it.
It's confusing going from last gen to this gen. I mean, because like Xbox 360, cool. Xbox 360 Elite made sense. We got the Xbox One, the Xbox One X, the Xbox One S. We got the Xbox Series X now and the Series S.
Yep.
Guys, come on. That's too damn close. It's confusing, you know, so yeah, I'm in the same boat as you guys. Yeah. I don't see it, but I could be wrong. I mean, it is about the time when they put out next gen bumps. Microsoft or Sony did, and then Microsoft was a year later with their One X, you know. So we could be completely wrong, and these guys are right. If they do come out with a new console, and let's say they're matching this year's console prices, which I don't believe they will, because when the Pro and the One X came out, they were about $100 more expensive than the previous version, weren't they? So if you're going to get a PS4 Pro, would it come out? I can't remember now. Was it a $400? It was a $499 console.
$499 because the God, I almost screwed up the Xbox name. The One was $399. The PS4 was $399, and then their Pro versions, Series or One X version, they were $499 because I got yelled at when I told my wife I'm getting one.
Right. And now the Xbox Series X and the PS5 Pro, or the PS5 Pro, I'm already saying it already. The PS5 and the Xbox Series X are $499. So are we looking at $699 consoles next gen because they're mid-gen bump, because they're more powerful? Because you cannot, Microsoft and Sony cannot come out with a PS5 Pro while still making the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and the Series X for the same price. That's a no-brainer. People are going to be like, I'm not going to buy your other console that you're trying to hawk to me. I'm going to wait to get this awesome, better machine. So it has to be more money. And I'm probably out. I'll be honest with you. $500 is pretty top for me on a gaming console. I'm not looking to spend the $600. I'm not looking to spend $600 3 years later neither. So I will probably be out on this mid-gen bump myself, to be honest with you. I don't know. Nick, if they came out with a PS5 Pro and an Xbox Series X Pro for $600, are you in or out?
You know he's in. Look at that face.
Hold me back. Hold me back is all I have to say. I should be out. I'm really bad about wanting to be in. So it would take a lot of willpower on my end to not purchase one or both eventually. In this, Tom Henderson, who put out the tweet about it, does say coming in 2024/20 or 2023/2024. So, it could be the end of 2023 or maybe sometime within 2024, which, like you said, Pat, looking at the kind of the what they did last gen. Yeah, it's unbelievable to think about, but yeah, that's around the time that they put them out. So that could be more true than we think.
Yeah, it really didn't seem like it's been that long, but I guess it has been since the One X came out. And then,
well, I mean, I looked it up too,
and
between the One and the S, it was a 7-year cycle. So in those 7 years, they came out with
360 PS3 generation. That was almost 10 years, wasn't it?
Yes.
Is that why I might be thinking it was so long?
That one was really long, and I think that one was probably too long for a lot of people. They kind of didn't like the fact that the 360 and the PS3 lasted for so long, because we were used to smaller time frames, and that one was a really long time frame, and people were kind of ready for new technology.
Yeah,
right. But they also had umpteen different renditions of their consoles in that 10 years, especially Sony. I mean, I think Sony put out a different console every other year. It's like, here's our Slim, here's our Piano, here's our this, and here's our that. And you're just like,
but theirs always seemed to have gotten worse.
But they weren't upgraded versions either. There was the same stuff in each one. I don't think any of them were.
I thought the Slim got more. I thought they were like
the Slim had a smaller processor or some crap like that.
I think some components may have changed, but I think it was the same power regardless. Because
I
want to say that the upgrade stuff that they did really only happened during the Xbox One and PS4 time frames or generations, I should say.
Yeah, well,
Shane, are you gonna, if they're coming out $600 consoles, because $600 would be the minimum, right? I mean, $100 more for each console. Are you in or out for that next year?
I'm going to be the one holding Nick. I'll be the one holding Nick back, so you're going to have to hold me back. But for me, it's going to be easy to be held back. My wife will be stepping on my groin if I mentioned a $600 new console.
Let alone two of them.
Yeah, exactly. I got the PS4 Pro. My wife bought it for me for a birthday, I think it was. And I was really excited. So I set it up in the game room, did the update, and it bricked out. And I was like, you know what? Just get my money back. I don't think it's worth it because the PS4 Pro was not near the upgrade that the One X was. The One X, I was extremely happy with my One X. Still have it, got it in my bedroom. I love my One X. I never really got to enjoy the PS4 Pro. So
yeah, I'm kind of in that boat too. I didn't do the Pro.
Yeah. I just don't see like I said, right now. Now it'll probably be announced late next year, like Game Awards or something like that near the end of the year. And then, Microsoft come out and say, hey, look at my one XXX Vin Diesel family edition, or Microsoft or Sony coming out, my PS5 point whatever Happy Donkey Bubblegum edition. I'll know then. I really will. That'll be the point I go, all right, my wife's not here. Where's my checkbook? That would be the point. But right now I don't see it. I don't want it. Honestly, I would probably be pissed off if they said something at the end of the year. Hey, we're doing this now. You didn't even finish last gen, the current gens. You
haven't saturated this gen yet.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's people who still want this gen. Nick, did you own a PS4 Pro?
No.
Okay.
No.
I didn't get one for the same reason that Shane was saying, it wasn't as big of a graphical. It wasn't as big of a bump as the Xbox was. Like it was a very small upgrade to the PS4, which I felt 4K. Like it wasn't worth buying a new one because of that. The Xbox One needed an upgrade, right? Yeah. And the Xbox One X was definitely that upgrade it needed.
Yeah.
So for these mid-gen bumps for these Xbox Series X and PS5s, they definitely need to be quite an upgrade for people to go out there. Because if it's just a little minimal thing, then people aren't really going to clamor for them.
Yeah, and if they're putting stuff out like 8K and that's their big deal, there's hardly any. I don't think there's any at least in my affordability range, I don't think there's affordable 8K out there. So, and in a year or two, I still don't see them being affordable. I mean, my TV now, I paid, and I love my TV. I recommend the Hisense UHG. Love this TV. That's fantastic picture. $1,000 is what that thing. I got it for $800 because it was on sale and my wife had a thing from Best Buy. I highly recommend it, but to me, that was a lot of damn money for a TV, and 8K is going to be what, 3 times that minimum. So no, I'll pass for now.
So, we all say this right now, but we ate a lot of Taco Bell around the Project Scorpio time frame. Taco Bell, try to win one.
I'm still digesting.
I think we broke a lot of toilets trying to win some of those, but we all ended up buying a Project Scorpio edition. I'm pretty sure, every one of us did. Russ was the only one out of our group of 4 who did not, and I think once he got a new Xbox, he was blown away by the difference. But I would say the difference between my Series X and my One X wasn't that big of a difference to me visually. It looked better, but it wasn't like blow me away. It was somebody who went from a 1 to a Series X, So
I agree with that. Yeah, I never really thought about it.
Yeah.
Graphically, no, but performance, yes.
Yes, performance is just the whole quick resume thing is amazing to me. So that's
the games that support it. There's too many games out there that don't support it, that freak out when you try to quick resume it.
Yeah, more games to support it because I love.
Especially
I wish Sony had that because I love quick resume. That's like one of my favorite features.
Yeah, PS5 does have a resume feature.
Sort of, yeah. It's one game though. You can resume one game. You basically put it in standby, but quick resume is a little bit different.
Yeah. So we're kind of torn. I would see Nick being the one that's driving the rest of us because unfortunately Nick is the bad influence on this group. And if Nick is like, I'm getting one, the two of us are usually like, well, maybe we might get one. Shane's kind of the guy that just buys random crap. Like we're all buying Series X's and he's over here buying Series S's. And I'm like, what's wrong with you, dude? Buy an X.
It was a gift for myself.
Don't you have like 2 of those things? Don't you have like 2 of those things running around your house or something?
No, I have one S. I have every Xbox basically.
Yeah. At his house, I'm like, what is that thing? Why do you have that? That's like
the Series S is actually a phenomenal little Xbox. My son has it in his room right now. It'll play 4K Blu-rays.
He basically bought his son the GoBots for Transformers.
Okay,
buying the full Transformers.
Don't ever knock the GoBots, bitch. Okay.
How about Mason Series X? Yeah. We have 2 Series X's in the house.
Oh, you're the better father. Screw you.
Well, I went even worse. You know what I did? I bought the Xbox One X Scorpio edition. I gave my kid my Xbox One. I just hand me down. I didn't buy them a new anything.
I don't buy my kids new. They get mine.
And Briar has the hand-me-down. She has the Xbox One S.
All right.
Yeah.
So
even
did you
Nick get the One S?
I had originally gotten a 1S for Mason, and then for Christmas I bought him a Series X.
So he did the same thing you did, Shane. He gave his.
Yeah, Jasmine's got the original one, so
right. Well,
maybe one day.
I think we're a little bit torn, and we'll have to wait and see. But I honestly don't know how they could keep up with the supply issue if this is what they're doing. I mean, obviously it's going to use a different graphical GPU, maybe a new processor. We don't know the processor for sure, right? I mean, they just talked about graphic rendering more than anything. They're talking about going from a 6700 XT GPU to a 7700 XT GPU. So a new family, a whole new bump in the family generation, which makes sense, right? We've had multiple family generation GPUs out by now. So we'll have to wait and see. You know, you can all call us hypocrites when the time comes out and we all buy new ones and we say we weren't going to, you know, because we'll have to follow Nick's lead on that one. I would not do it the PlayStation, though. I don't care how much Nick buys one. I don't play it enough to justify spending $600 on that.
Agreed.
So, all right.
But if they do it, they have to make sure they fix the whole damn dirty scalper crap. You know, they need to do this crap a better way.
They will. They want to make sure they sell out.
Oh, well.
All right.
They sell out.
Anybody else? Yeah. Anybody else got anything they want to chat on this one? We could probably chat all night on if we're going to buy it or not. Would I buy that for $1 or
599 of those dollars?
599 extra dollars. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, let us know what you think. Have you gotten a PS5 and an Xbox Series X or an Xbox Series S? And if a mid-gen bump console does come out next year, are you game? You going to buy it? Because you know it's going to be more pricier. Are you going to spend that $600 or forbid $650 or whatever? Let us know in the comments whether you're going to get one of those. And as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to our channel if you're not, and don't forget to hit that bell for notifications to keep up to date with all new videos that we do every week. And I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope to catch you in the next one.
See ya.